The main thing is to keep the main thing the main thing. We can get pretty distracted. We can get confused. We can have all kinds of, rigmarole, and the main thing gets left. And, like Pastor said, the devil, he tries to defeat us. He makes these different attempts. But one of his best schemes is just to get you off track. He doesn't have to destroy you. He doesn't even have to defeat you if he can just distract you. So as Paul is passing this message down to Timothy, one of the very first things that he tells him as one of the main things is to pass it on. Pass it on. As we walk through this life, as we serve God, one of the most important things that we have to do in Christianity is make sure we pass it on. Don't just keep it all for yourself, but we've got to pass this on to the next generation. Okay? So that can be men, women. We need to pass that on to people that will continue to pass this faith along. We need to continue to reach the world for Jesus Christ. The next thing that he tells them, and this is an exciting one, is the word endure. How many of you ever endure vacation? No, I love vacation, right? Some of you are like, I've got to endure this message, Listen, when we think of the word endure, it's not usually a positive, it doesn't have a positive connotation with it. It's usually a negative thing. I looked at the word endure, I looked it up in the dictionary. It means to bear, okay? To bear, like not in the sense of but like carry. Bearing a burden or bearing weight or carrying things like this. There's a lot of pressure in this life. There's a lot of forces that are pushing on us. We have to endure through that. He basically said, don't get sidetracked. He tells him that nobody that's serving as a soldier gets involved in civilian affairs because he wants to please his commanding officer. The soldier doesn't get to make all the choices of when they're going to fight, who they're going to fight, where they're going to fight. Their job is just to obey orders and fight. And they don't get to choose all that, because what if the person next to them didn't believe in the same cause they believed in? There would be mutiny. There would be no team. There would be no support for each other. There would be nothing. They can't get involved in all that stuff. And the one thing is, he's saying, Timothy, don't get sidetracked into all the other stuff. The next thing that he says to him is if you want to compete, you got to know the rules. The athlete doesn't win the gold medal. Okay, in his day they got crowns. In our day they get gold medals or they get championships. And the athlete doesn't get that unless they follow the rules. Hard work needs to be rewarded. Okay, and hard work will be rewarded. But how many of you know that a farmer doesn't get to go out on like October 1st? Be like, I'm a little bit behind. But I think if I get this corn in the ground, hopefully next month I can take some of it off. They don't get to do that, do they?